Hello. So today is November 1st, and it's actually a pretty important day for me. Exactly a year ago on November 1st was the day that I created my Facebook business page for Plexus, and it was really the day that I said, yep, I'm doing this. I'm doing Plexus. And I know that there's people who may not watch this video at all, and I hope that if you've turned it on and thought you're not going to watch it through, I ask you to just go ahead and watch it and, give me 10 minutes of your time. I'll try to keep it short. I'm doing this video mostly to reach people who wonder why I would do this. Especially if you know me, you probably know I don't like to get my picture taken. I don't like to be the center of attention. I can tend to be a little bit reserved and shy in general. And I definitely have never done anything where I'm chasing people down and doing sales, ever. It's the last thing that I would have done. And no offense to anybody who I love and adore who has done direct sales or multi-level marketing businesses, but I was somebody who definitely thought that that wasn't for me. I had been approached by people many times saying, oh my gosh, you'd be great at this. You should do my business. It wasn't something that appealed to me. I wasn't really good at sales. I'm the kind of person who thought, if I need something, I'll go to the store and I'll buy it. I don't need to, go to a different party every so often and buy things. If I need a purse, I'll go buy a purse. You know what I mean? And I also really disliked the idea of even being put in the position to ask my friends to buy things from me so that I could make money. So I just wasn't built that way. I didn't want to do it. And so anybody who knows me probably was a little bit surprised to see a year ago, everything that I did on Facebook shifted and became about Plexus. I can't apologize about that. And the reason I can't apologize is, it's a couple of different things. First of all, what some people, I'm surprised to find out that some people don't know how I got involved with Plexus. So I'm going to start there. And then I'm going to tell you why I keep doing it and why I keep posting about it and why I'm not even the littlest bit apologetic for it, no matter if it annoys anybody. And I'm sure that it does annoy some people. So I'm 38 years old. I have 3 kids. I've been married for 18 years. And my oldest, Olivia, just joined my team. She is extremely excited. She joined my Plexus team out of her own intense passion for this company and for these products. And the reason is because she got her mom back. My youngest is 8, and then I have a 16-year-old in between. And I have to make this fairly quick because I'm getting her ready for homecoming tonight. So I needed to do this video today because this is my 1-year anniversary having decided to do the business. So about in the middle of October of last year, I started taking these products. I always believed that there was some truth and some validity to natural products being able to enhance health. I did believe that. I had for many years taken supplements. I had taken probiotics since I was 22. Had my kids on probiotics. I completely understood the concepts, I thought, behind those. Lots of different supplements. My cabinet was full of things that I had read that were good for you and you should take them. Interestingly, I never can look back and say that there was ever a time that I was taking something and that I could say, I was taking these and here's the result I felt because of them. This wasn't good. I took these supplements and then I felt better. So I just want to remind you, I'm 38 years old, and from the age of 22 or 23, I was taking supplements, lots of them. And I looked into them and I researched and I made sure I knew what I was taking and what were the risks and advantages and which ones were safe and what were the good companies to go with and the higher quality ones. And you have never heard a word from me saying to you, not any person out there has heard me say, oh my gosh, I'm taking this supplement. It's so great. You ought to take it. That is because I never felt a difference from any of those supplements. I took them like anybody does, multivitamins or anything else, because you're told that you should and it's good for you. So theoretically, I thought it was a good idea. The difference is, I ended up very sick anyway. So my health started to decline. I was born with some autoimmune disorders, lots of allergies, asthma. I tended to get bronchitis and pneumonia pretty often. So I kind of had a slew of things wrong with me when I was growing up. I was born with an autoimmune disease that I had to deal with my entire life. But by the time that I was 30, my health really started to spiral down, and I didn't tell people about it, again, because I'm so resistant to attention in general. I will do whatever it takes to avoid having to talk about myself. I will do whatever it takes to avoid that spotlight being on me. So if I had to talk about my health problems and what was going on with me, that was just a very uncomfortable thing for me. I would prefer to be like, no, everything's fine. I'm good. I'm great. I don't need anything. What can I do for you? What do you need? And so it's part of the reason why so many people are surprised to have found out last year that I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and that we were going through a lot of different processes trying to diagnose, what autoimmune disorders I had, and it turned out to be lupus. And with those comes a lot of joint pain, a lot of intense fatigue. My body would hurt all over. I can't tell you the difference between the two. I personally didn't know what was causing one versus causing the other. What I do know is that life was getting harder and harder. And so I went from being a very positive person to being somebody who 13 and 14 months ago was at the lowest mental and emotional point that I've ever been at in my life. Now, I have tried to do this video 2 other times, and so hopefully I've gotten the actual, ugly tears out. If I do get emotional and choked up, I'm sorry, because I really can't help it. When I let myself think back to how bad things were and the things that I was struggling with, it is very difficult for me to get through that part. But anyway, life was really bad. I was on several medications that a lot of people had no idea that I was on. And that was just so that I could get through life. To try to take the edge off of some of the pain. It did nothing to help me wake up feeling better. At 35 years old, I was waking up feeling like I was 80. It probably took me an hour and a half to 2 hours to kind of stretch and get the stiffness out of my muscles and my joints. And I was not a very happy person around my family. I was very cranky. I was probably incredibly difficult to live with. Not the best case scenario when you have 2 teenage daughters who are 23 months apart. While I was going through all that, a lot less tolerant of things in general, because I used to be a very patient person, and you lose your patience when you are just up to here every day with not knowing how you're going to do what you're doing again the next day. Just measuring out my trips up and down the stairs, trying to figure out, can I do laundry today and cook dinner? Can I, I'm running my kids to practices and trying not to fall asleep at red lights, literally. Having just intense pain in different areas, and it changed. It was different some days than others. Sometimes I felt like my feet were hurt really badly all the time. Kind of felt like somebody had beat the soles of my feet with bats, and I just had to walk around on them all bruised like that. That was a daily part of my life. I was in pretty bad shape, and the medications that I could take took some of the edge off, but also there were some terrible side effects. And I think all of us would agree that if we can avoid being on medications that are pretty toxic, that we should. We can't do that for everybody. There's going to be medications that people have to continue to take, but if you don't have to, man, we don't want to overburden our body with those toxins and those things. It's kind of a cost-benefit analysis that you have to do. And for me, I couldn't not be on them either, because I was in so much pain. I couldn't get through my life, and I couldn't be a mom to my kids, which was the only thing that mattered to me. It was what, I grew up really wanting to do. And so here's the deal. And the person that I signed up under in Plexus probably has never heard this. My team has heard this a lot of times. When I first saw a post, my friend who I went to high school with, and I trusted her, I know her heart, I know she's a genuine person, she posted something about this product called Probio 5. It's a probiotic. And having spent a lot of years knowing my stuff about probiotics and other supplements, I I looked at it and I kind of scrunched my nose up and kind of thought, what is she posting about? And I think it appeared to me that it was coming from a I'm selling this standpoint, and I guess with a load of skepticism, I looked into it, not truly out of interest that I might buy it. It was more, what is this that somebody's selling? And almost like maybe I wanted to look into it and make sure that it was legitimate, so I could, if it wasn't, I could message her and say, hey, this is, don't get involved with this. That's not legitimate. They're just, hyping something up. It's just, so that was kind of my attitude when I saw this post and when I started to look into this probiotic by this company I'd never heard of, with this weird name, Plexus. And so I went looking into it and I went digging. She's probably laughing right now because she didn't know that. And so the more that I looked into it, the more that I was like, oh, maybe this is actually legitimate. This is very interesting. And it was a probiotic built a different way. It had kind of a completely different agenda, if you will. And I was really intrigued by what I was reading about it. And I thought, maybe that's worth a try. Maybe that kind of makes sense. At the same time, I was reading a lot of testimonials from people who, on the surface, you would think this is like an infomercial. Everybody's saying it's curing all these. Well, they weren't saying it was curing anything, let me be clear. But that was my perception, as it is a lot of other people's perception. They talk about these very intense, significant health issues. And here they were saying, I'm on these products and now I feel so much better. My life is so much better. And I think on the surface, I just thought, okay, infomercial, good job, they did great. But as I got really looking into it, I was reading from people who were so emphatic and so clearly were not being paid to do this. Their grammar wasn't always great. It was a lot of run-on sentences and a lot of excitement and too many exclamation points. And people were just pouring their hearts out and saying, if you have this, I just want to tell you my story. Here's what I did, and here's how I am now. And so it started to get under my skin. And then I read a couple about people that had some chronic pain and things just like what I was dealing with. Well, what had just happened was that I had just been taken off of my only medication that was helping me. And I'd been taken off of it because I had some pretty severe allergic reactions, and it took us a while to recognize what was happening. And so I was a little bit shell-shocked and not wanting to take another medication. And so at the same time, there was this constant, I was in withdrawal from that medication, and I was scared that the residual effects of that actually might not go away. And I was terrified to take something else because I'm the kind of person who has reactions to a lot of medications. I've got like a list of medicines that I can't have prescribed to me. And so I was just in this place of, how am I going to live like this for the rest of my life? I'm only in my 30s, and things are definitely not going to go uphill from here. They're going to go down. We all decline, and things are already so bad. I can't imagine doing this for another year or two, much less 30 or 40. And so I was afraid to take any other medications, and I remember my husband just saying to me so many times during that couple of weeks while I was in withdrawal, what are you going to do? What is the next step? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything. And he said, that's ridiculous. You can't live like this. You have to take something. And I said, I'm not. It was my stubbornness, which kind of comes in handy these days. I'm stubbornly adamant about finding more people who are in a place like that for any number of reasons, be it an autoimmune disorder, be it things like IBS and all of these other things that go wrong in our bodies. And I know that I have a possible solution for them. So I stubbornly go out there and say, no, you just listen. Just listen to it. I'm not, whether you buy it or not, is not important to me, but that you listen to it is the only thing that I want to get out of this. And so I stubbornly said I'm not taking anything else. And so when I started to read all these testimonials, something happened, and I started to say, what do I really have to lose? Here's a company that's saying you've got 60 days to use these products. Use it up, save the bottles. If it doesn't work for you, send it back, you get your money back. And that kind of sold me, because I figured that was my out. I wouldn't really be wasting my money. And it definitely couldn't hurt me because I had looked enough into those ingredients to absolutely know that there wasn't anything in these products that could hurt me. And I did run it by my doctors too. I have a whole bunch of specialists that I went to and said, look, I'll be honest, I'm going to do this anyway, but I want to know what you think. And because I just wanted to know what they thought. And I also kind of in the back of my mind at a certain point had become pretty convinced that maybe there was really something to this because I didn't think these people were lying. And so I think in the back of my mind, maybe I thought, if this does work, I want my doctors to know what I did because we've been going round and round and round trying to find solutions for me. And the answer was always, you're just going to have to live with this. This is how much of your pain and your situation that we can even help with. And then the rest of it, you're just going to have to live with that. So I was kind of thinking, well, if this really works for me, I want them to know it wasn't their medications that did it. So that said, I ordered my products, and it feels like it was nothing short of a miracle that within about, I don't like to say how long it was because everybody can take a different amount of time. I hit on the right 3 products for me right off the bat, and my body very quickly started to respond to what I was putting into my body to help it to clear and to help it to detox and to get these things out of my system and start to balance and take the inflammation away. So it was very quick for me. But I will say that I started in the middle of October last year, and on November 1st, which is exactly a year ago today, was the day that I said, I'm in, I'm doing this. I cannot not tell people. And so I really had to step out of my comfort zone because I had to have a heart-to-heart with myself. And I said, if you know me, you know that if I even state an opinion about something and if I say that I believe in it, I really believe in it. And otherwise, I'm probably not going to say anything. I'm a person who pretty much doesn't put my thoughts out there unless it's something I believe pretty strongly in. And what I thought to myself at this moment was, it was very quick. It was very brief for me. I thought, I could just, I feel amazing. My pain had gone away. My fatigue had gone away. My, what we call brain fog, my anxiety levels, my mood had changed, all extremely rapidly. Nothing hurt anymore. My energy came back. My whole family was walking around in disbelief, as was I, that it was like I was a new person. It was like the person that I was maybe 10 years before had suddenly, snapped my fingers and I was back. I really did walk around feeling like I kind of needed to pinch myself because I couldn't believe that it was real. And so the moment that I decided that I was going to do this business was because I knew that there were a lot of other people who had similar problems and I needed to reach them. I needed to. And so there was really no doubt that I was going to try to reach other people. In the first moments of it, I think I tried to say, well, can I do this in a safe zone, like where I'm not really putting myself out there and not looking like a crazy salesperson, because I don't want to be that person, and I don't want people to perceive anything negative about me or think, oh my gosh, she's trying to make money off of me, or she's trying to, sell me snake oil or something crazy like that. I wanted to figure out if there was a safe zone, and it turns out there's really not, especially when you get involved with a company that nobody knows about. And in my area, nobody knows about it. It's, when I say nobody, it's the majority of people. And I really found that I was just on this mission to kind of blaze a trail. And if it meant that I was going to look silly and look ridiculous, then so be it. Because in exchange for that, I knew that I was going to make it easier for other people to reach their friends and families, so that I was willing to kind of throw myself out there, and if that was the end result. And so the reason that I have become I'm so passionate about it, but the reason, what has fueled my passion, is that in that 12 months, not only did I have so many customers that are happy, who I can't even talk about them all, because honestly, unless I have their permission to post what's going on, I can't really post about them. If I can, and if I can do it without naming names, I will. But I have a really big team, and my team has a lot of customers, and everybody, they are my team because generally they were somebody's customer first, mine, or somebody that signed up under me. And we see things like people that were type 2 diabetics that are not type 2 diabetics anymore. We see things where somebody is, gosh, so many things. I get my mind gets just caught up, and it's like jammed when I try to think of which stories I love best. I love so many of them. Anxiety medications and depression medications that have been able to be weaned off of because they don't have the anxiety anymore. They're not depressed. They're feeling better about life. Their mental state is better. People who have skin conditions and eczema and psoriasis and blood pressure medications they've been able to come off of, and migraine medications they've been able to come off of. And I have other people that my own friends and family, again, talking about my own friends and family or the people directly on my team who have pain conditions like mine, whether they were something degenerative or whether they were some other autoimmune disorder or something connective tissue kind of deal. I even have somebody on my team who is a family member who was in her early 30s on disability already because of what she had going on and how severe the pain was and how severe the fatigue was. And she is back to work and super passionate about Plexus herself. So this is the real deal. These are legitimate products. And so a lot of times people probably scroll through and think, it's a weight loss thing. Next. It's really not. I mean, these are legitimate health and wellness products that are changing lives because they are high quality, very effective, and made, they're coming from a company that really has a mission that I can align myself with because they want to make people better and healthier. And not only that, they also have combined with that a desire to help people have financial freedom. And so they designed this amazing compensation plan, which I didn't even know was going to change my life the way that it has. And so in no time, just by telling people the truth about what happened for me and all these testimonials I was reading about other people, I was having an actual income. And I don't have a lot of experience with direct marketing and MLM, but what I do know is that a lot of other people were scrambling with their companies, whatever it was that they were selling, to meet some quota and to make this measly amount of money every month. And I got to tell you, I have no quota, and I make a far beyond measly amount of money every month. I do not have to do my full-time job anymore. I'm still doing it. This is my last year. But I don't have to. The Plexus income is really good. And the reason that it's a good income is because the products actually work. So in, May, I went to convention at the end of May in Dallas. It was amazing. And that month and the following month, I got 18 new people on my team, 19 people the following month, 19 people the month after that. I can't actually remember what we got in August. I have to think about it, or September. All in those kind of 18. But what happened is those new people that came in loved their results. A lot of times they had already been customers before they joined us as ambassadors. That's a lot of times what we have. And they bring in new people who also love their results, who bring in new people again. And just this past month, as of yesterday, we added 27 new people to our team in October. And these are people who continue to stay with it and become passionate about it because they are having life-changing results. And so I won't stop talking about these products because I have seen it do nothing but good in people's lives. And because it is able to balance your blood sugar levels this is the Plexus Slam, the pink drink you see us talk about all the time. You really have this ability to have this new relationship with food, where for some people it's not an issue. And if it's no problem for you, this may not be of interest. But I will say that the Plexus Slam has a lot of other great things that it can do for people aside from just what it does for your appetite. But it just puts you in a better frame of mind for not needing to eat all the time and making better choices about what you do eat. It's one of those things you really can't explain to people, and you just have to let them experience it for themselves. there are so many people who are part of my team or are very happy customers who came into it kind of looking sideways like, yeah, I don't really know what I think about this. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see. I'm not doing the business, but I'm going to give it a try. And they end up being some of the happiest and most energetic and driven people on the team. I think we all understand each other. We were so skeptical. And I always use this analogy that explaining Plexus to people is like trying to describe another color of the rainbow that nobody else has seen. And when you do, when you think about it that way, that's really how we feel. We try to explain to you how different it is, but guys, when your body starts